The Zyran exploration fleet moved quietly through the cold darkness of Sector 91. Their ships were thin, sharp, and fast, perfect for deep space scouting. For years, the Zyrans had explored unknown regions, mapping star systems and searching for new resources. Commander Raal stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Vornis 7. His tall, silver-scaled body shone under the blue light of the control screens. Around him, his crew worked calmly. Everything was normal until it suddenly wasn't. "Commander," the sensor officer said, his voice shaking a little, "we are detecting something strange ahead." Raal turned slowly. "Define strange," the officer swallowed. "A massive energy wave. Not natural. And there is an object at the center of it." Raal walked to the screen. On it, a huge dark shape floated in space. No lights, no movement. Just a silent shadow of metal. "How big is it?" Raal asked. The officer tapped his consoles. Then his eyes widened. 3? No, 4 kilometers long. The entire bridge went quiet. 4 kilometers. That was not a ship size they had ever seen. Even the largest Zyran battleship was half that. Raal narrowed his eyes. "Is it drifting?" "Unknown, Commander. It is not dead. It is emitting a very old and very strong energy signature." Raal frowned. "Old? How old?" "Thousands of years, Commander. But the power levels are rising slowly, like something waking up." Raal felt a chill run through his spine. Ships did not wake up. "Bring us closer," he ordered. "Commander?" His second-in-command said nervously. "This could be a trap." Raal shook his head. "We are explorers. We investigate. Move forward." The Zyran fleet drifted closer, their engines silent. As they approached, the strange object revealed itself more clearly. It was a warship, but not like anything they had ever seen. Huge armor plates covered its surface. Giant cannons were locked in place, pointing in all directions. Glowing symbols, faded but still visible, ran along its hull. Raal stared. What species could build something like this? No one answered. Then something happened. The ship released a pulse, soft but powerful, like a heartbeat. The lights on the Zyran bridge flickered. The crew looked terrified. Energy levels rising. The sensor officer shouted, "The ship is activating." Raal's voice became calm but firm. "Hold your positions." "Commander," the officer whispered. "It's scanning us." Raal watched as blue lines of energy crawled across the giant ship like electricity. One cannon unlocked itself with a deep metallic rumble. The aliens felt like insects next to a giant. Then the translator system beeped. A message had been received. Raal's heart beat faster. "Put it on screen." The message was short. Only 3 lines. Property of humanity. Titan-class warship access restricted. Everyone froze. Humanity. A word from ancient history. A species believed extinct for thousands of years. A species known only through rumors. Stories of unbelievable strength, war power, and unmatched courage. No one had seen a human in ages. Most people thought they were myths, but this warship was real, and the message was clear. "Commander," the second-in-command whispered. "Humans are extinct. How is their ship here?" Raal stared at the screen. "I do not know." Another pulse rolled through space, this time stronger. More alive. The entire Zyran fleet drifted backward from the force. Raal gripped the railing. "Report." "Energy surge inside the ship," the officer shouted. "Systems active. Weapons online. Engines warming." "The ship is waking up," Raal said softly. The bridge lights dimmed as another wave hit them. "We are receiving another message," the communication officer cried. Raal nodded. "Play it," static crackled. Then a deep human voice filled the ship. "Warning, you are in restricted human territory." The crew panicked. "Impossible," someone shouted. "Humans cannot be alive. This ship is ancient. Who is speaking?" Raal raised a hand. "Silence," the voice continued. "Unidentified vessels detected. State your purpose." Raal stepped forward, forcing courage into his voice. "This is Commander Raal of the Zyran Exploration Fleet. We come in peace. We are exploring this sector. We believe this region to be unclaimed." Silence followed. Then the human voice spoke again. Calm. Cold. Controlled. "This territory is claimed. You are warned." The ship's cannons shifted. Slowly. Deliberately. pointing at the Zyran fleet. Ral felt his throat tighten. He whispered, "Everyone, hold position. Do not provoke it." The crew looked terrified, but they obeyed. Ral stared at the Titan warship. "This ship, it is not abandoned," he said quietly. "It is guarding something." The bridge shook again, another power surge. The ship glowed brighter. Weapons hummed. Systems roared back to life. Then the voice spoke one more time. "Final warning. Do not approach the Titan." Ral felt his scales crawl, whatever the ship was, whatever humans had built. The Zyrans were not ready to face it. Not ready at all. The Zyran fleet remained frozen in place, their engines silent, their minds full of fear. The Titan-class human warship hovered before them like a sleeping god opening its eyes for the first time in ages. Commander Ral kept his eyes on the giant ship. He could feel every member of his crew holding their breath. "Commander," the sensor officer whispered. "Energy levels are still rising. The ship is fully waking." Ral clenched his jaw. "Show me the readings." The officer turned the screen toward him. Blue energy waves crawled across the ship's hull like electric veins. Small sections of armor shifted and realigned. Long weapon arms rotated with slow, terrifying precision. The Titan warship was not just activating, it was preparing. Ral felt a cold drop of fear slide down his spine. "Is the ship charging its weapons?" he asked. The officer checked again. His voice broke. "Yes, Commander, but something is strange." Ral frowned. "Strange how?" "The weapons are powering up, but only to 30%. The crew exchanged nervous looks. 30%? And it was already shaking the space around them? "What is its maximum capacity?" Someone whispered. The officer looked pale. "Unknown. The ship's power levels are beyond our reading scale." Ral took a deep breath. "Keep scanning. And do not provoke it." The warship shifted again, moving very slowly, like a massive beast stretching its limbs after a long sleep. As it turned, its full size became clear. 4 kilometers of armored destruction. Dozens of rail cannons lined both sides. Massive missile bays sat, under thick armor plating. Huge glowing core pulsed at its center like a living heart. Even the smallest part of this thing was stronger than any warship the Zyrans had ever built. The communication officer suddenly sat up. "Commander, the Titan is sending another message." Ral nodded. "Play it." The human voice returned, calm but heavy like an ancient echo. "Identify yourselves. Confirm friendly or hostile intent." Ral spoke carefully. "We are explorers. We do not wish for conflict. We are the Zyran fleet." Silence. Then the voice replied, "Zyrans, you are not listed in current diplomatic records." The crew froze. Ral slowly said, "Humans have no records of us because they went extinct long ago." Silence again. Then, correction. Humanity is classified as not extinct. Status undisclosed. Further information restricted. Ral felt the color drain from his face. Not extinct? Impossible, but he did not argue. Not with a ship that could erase his entire fleet in a single breath. The ship began scanning them again, blue light sweeping over each vessel. "Commander," the sensor officer said, voice trembling, "the Titan is analyzing our weapons. Our shields, even our biological signatures." Ral kept calm. "Let it scan. Maybe it is assessing our threat level." The officer shook his head. "No, Commander. It already knows our threat level. It is too advanced. It is checking something else." Ral frowned. "What?" The officer swallowed hard. "It's checking if we are worthy to live." The entire bridge fell silent. A sudden loud rumble shook the Zyran ship. Alarms blared. "Report!" Ral shouted. The Titan just released a shockwave, large but not harmful. An engineer yelled. "It disabled our jump drives." Ral felt his breath stop. Disabled their jump drives? So they couldn't escape. "Are our engines intact?" Ral asked. "Yes, Commander, but hyperjump is impossible." The crew's eyes widened with fear. The Titan had not attacked them, it had trapped them. The communication officer suddenly gasped. "Commander!" "The Titan is opening a channel. Audio and visual. Put it on screen," Ral ordered. The bridge lights dimmed. The screen flickered. Then an image appeared. A giant, armored human helmet, cracked and ancient but still glowing with blue lights. Behind it were walls of metal and circuits all humming with life. A human AI. The voice spoke again, now with more force. Zyran Fleet, you have approached a human guardian vessel. This Titan is programmed to protect restricted zones. You will answer questions. Ral took a deep breath. Very well. What questions? The AI paused. What are your intentions in human territory? Ral spoke clearly. We did not know this was your territory. We only explore. We have no hostile purpose, the AI considered the reply. Lights flickered behind it. Your technology is primitive. Your fleet is small. You pose no direct threat. The crew felt insulted, but none dared speak. Then the AI added, but your curiosity is dangerous. Ral frowned. Why? The AI's voice deepened. Because curiosity is the first step toward invasion. The crew stiffened. Ral forced himself to stay calm. We have no wish to invade. The AI responded instantly. Every species says that. The Titan's main cannon rotated toward the Zyran flagship. Slow. Controlled. Precise, Ral's heart pounded loudly in his chest. Commander, what do we do? His officer whispered. Ral's eyes stayed. Locked on the massive cannon, we wait, he said, softly. And we pray this ship believes us. The Titan warships. Power levels rose again. The air on the bridge felt heavy. The crew felt small, weak, helpless. The human AI spoke one last time. Do not lie to the Titan. The cannon charged with a deep hum, and the Zyrans realized their fate now lay in the hands of a human machine that had slept for thousands of years. Commander Ral stood frozen as the Titan-class human warship continued to charge its cannon. The low humming sound filled the Zyran flagship like a giant heartbeat, slow, deep, and terrifying. No one dared move. No one dared breathe. Ral kept his eyes locked on the glowing barrel of the cannon. Hold position, he whispered. No one fire. No one make sudden moves. His second-in-command nodded, her hands shaking. Commander, a single shot from that cannon could turn us into dust. Ral did not reply. Everyone already knew. The communication officer suddenly stiffened. Commander, one of our scout ships is sending a message to the Titan. Ral snapped his head around. What message? Peace message, Commander. They're trying to calm the AI. Ral's heart dropped. No, cancel it. But it was too late. A small Zyran scout ship on the left side of the fleet broadcasted a gentle signal. We bring peace. We wish to communicate. We mean no harm. For a moment, the space remained silent. Then everything changed. The Titan's hull brightened, glowing like a rising star. The warship responded, but not with words, with power. A wave of blue energy burst from the Titan's surface, sweeping across the void like a ripple in water. It hit the Zyran fleet seconds later. The shockwave wasn't explosive. It wasn't destructive, it was disabling. Lights flickered, engines shut down, shields collapsed. Crew members fell to the floor as their ships shook violently. Report, Ral shouted. The sensor officer struggled back to his console. Commander, the Titan sent an electromagnetic shockwave. It disabled half our systems. The communication officer added, voice trembling. But there is no structural damage. It didn't attack us, it only trapped us again. Ral's hands tightened into fists. This is not an attack, he whispered. It's a warning. On screen, the human AI's helmet flickered back into view. The voice was calm, but sharper now. Unapproved transmission detected. Do not attempt unauthorized communication. The Zyran scout pilot responded nervously through the channel. We only meant to show peace. The AI cut him off immediately. Peace is irrelevant. Obedience is required. Those words hit the entire fleet like an icy wind. Ral stepped forward. Your actions are too aggressive. If you want peace, you must trust. The AI's voice became cold. Trust is earned, Zyran. The Titan's enormous cannons unlocked with a thunderous metallic groan. Even the sound made every alien on the bridge flinch. The AI continued. Your fleet approached a restricted human vessel. Your presence is a threat. Ral forced himself to remain calm. We didn't know. We only explore. Please let us leave your territory. Shockingly, the Titan did not answer. Instead, the giant warship moved. For the first time, it rotated its entire body toward the Zyran fleet. The movement was slow but powerful, so massive that the nearby stars seemed to dim behind its shadow. Every Zyran aboard every ship felt the same thing at the same time. The Titan was focusing on them. Like a predator, like a judge, a few officers whispered prayers. Others silently panicked. The sensor officer gasped. "Commander, the Titan is charging its main beam weapon." Ral turned sharply. "How strong?" "Unknown, Commander. The energy readings are off the scale." A deep bass vibration rolled through space as a glowing sphere of blue-white light formed at the tip of the Titan's main cannon. The Xyrans stared, petrified. They were about to die. Ral clenched his fists. "All ships prepare evasive." Before he could finish, the Titan fired a thin, bright beam shot across the void, so fast the Xyrans couldn't even track it. But it did not hit them. Instead, it hit something else. A giant asteroid in the distance, nearly the size of a moon. The beam touched it for only 1 second. That was enough. The asteroid shattered into a billion flaming pieces, scattering into the darkness like dust in the wind. A collective gasp echoed through the Xyran fleet. 1 second, 1 shot, 1 destroyed moon. Ral felt his legs weaken. That wasn't a weapon test. That was a warning. The Titan's glowing cannon began powering down. The AI's voice returned. Demonstration complete. The Xyran crew stared at the screen, horrified, waiting for more. The AI continued. Current threat level, moderate. Hostile action will result in termination. Ral felt a surge of anger and fear mix inside his chest. He stepped forward. "Human AI," he said through clenched teeth. "We do not want war. You show great power, but we do not challenge you." The AI responded immediately. "Correct. You cannot challenge me," Ral's crew muttered angrily. Even frightened, they felt insulted. The AI continued. "But you may survive. If you obey," Ral spoke again, voice steady. "Why do you keep us here? What do you want from us?" For the first time, the AI's glowing eyes dimmed. A long silence followed. Then, "I want the truth." Ral froze. "The truth?" "Yes," the AI said. "The truth about what happened after we fell asleep." The Xyran crew exchanged confused looks. Before anyone could ask more, the Titan's lights flickered, and the ship's energy surged again, stronger than before. The AI's final words for Part 3 echoed across space. "Tell me what became of the galaxy after the extinction of humanity." Ral felt his heart stop. The Titan wanted answers, and if they failed to give the right ones, they would not leave alive. The Titan-class warship did not move for a long moment. It only floated in the darkness like a sleeping giant, but even in its silence it created fear inside every alien ship watching it. Ambassador Zor stared at the massive shape on the screen. His claws tapped the metal table without him noticing. "This ship—" "It is too quiet," he said softly. Commander Virex, who stood beside him, swallowed hard. "Ships this big are never quiet, Ambassador. This one is waiting." The aliens did not like that word. Waiting. Waiting meant confidence. Waiting meant control. Waiting meant power. And the Titan class looked like something that had never needed to hurry in its entire existence. Inside the alien flagship, crew members argued in low voices. "Maybe it is damaged." "No, impossible. Their engines are glowing." "Then why is it not attacking us?" "Because it does not see us as a threat." That last sentence sent a cold wave through the entire command deck. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the human Titan-class ship, something began to shift. First, the massive armor plates along the sides unlocked with deep metallic clicks. Then glowing blue lines ran across the hull like veins waking up after a long sleep. Jor froze. What is happening to it?" he whispered. "The ship looks different, now. Alive. Aware." The alien crew felt the same fear that prey feels when a predator slowly lifts its head. Human communication lights blinked. Once then the Titan class deployed something strange. Dozens of circular drones slid out from the ship's underside. They looked like metal discs, but each one carried weapons equal to a small fighter ship. They formed a silent guard around the Titan class. The aliens were speechless. Finally, Zor spoke. "That isn't a warship. It is a moving fortress." "No," Virex corrected. "It is a warning." The alien fleet, still shocked, finally tried contacting the humans again. "This is Ambassador Zor of the Vesk Dominion," he said, voice shaking slightly. "Human ship, we We request peaceful dialogue. A long moment passed. No answer. Another moment. Still silence. Then, a deep, powerful voice came through the speakers. This is Admiral Cole of the United Terran Fleet. Every alien officer froze. The voice was calm, too calm. The way someone speaks when they already control everything. You approached restricted territory. Admiral Cole continued. Turn your fleet around and exit our border within 20 minutes. The alien fleet erupted in fear. 20 minutes? We cannot reorganize in that time. If we turn too fast, we will collide. They are pushing us out like children. Zor tried to stay calm. Admiral Cole, we are here on peaceful scientific one. The human cut him off immediately. You were warned. You ignored the warning. The alien bridge went silent again. This wasn't negotiation. This was judgment. Suddenly, the Titan class changed formation. Its main cannon rotated slowly toward the alien fleet. The aliens panicked. They locked weapons on us. Shields up. Prepare evasive. No. Do not provoke them. Zor's voice cracked as he shouted. The crew froze. Nobody dared even breathe loudly, because they all knew. If the Titan class fired even one shot, half of their fleet would be gone instantly. The humans spoke again. Colder this time. You have 15 minutes. Admiral, please. Zor tried again. 13, the Admiral corrected. Zor felt his chest tighten. They were not dealing with a normal military. They were dealing with a force that did not bluff. The Titan class did not move, did not aim sharply, did not show aggression. It only existed, and that was enough to overpower an entire armada. Virex leaned close to Zor. Ambassador, we cannot win this. If we anger them, they will erase us. Zor closed his eyes. Every decision he made now would decide the future of his species. He took a long breath and gave the order. All ships, begin slow retreat. Relief and fear mixed together across the fleet slowly, carefully, silently. The alien ships began reversing out of human territory. Every pilot trembled. Every officer kept their eyes on the massive Titan-class warship, and the humans watched without saying a word. But something else happened. As the alien fleet pulled back, the Titan class turned slightly. Its engines glowed brighter. It was tracking them. It was watching their every move. It was making sure they obeyed, and every alien knew it. The humans weren't just powerful. They were prepared for anything, and the Titan-class warship was only the beginning. The alien fleet continued to retreat, moving slowly and carefully. Every pilot stayed tense, controlling their ships like they were carrying fragile explosives. One wrong move, one sudden turn, and the Titan-class warship might see it as a threat. Inside the alien flagship, the air was thick with fear. Ambassador Zor stood near the viewing window, watching the massive human ship follow them like a silent shadow. It is not attacking, Commander Virex whispered. It is escorting us out. Zor nodded slowly. Yes, but not out of kindness. This is their way of showing dominance. The alien bridge fell silent again. Everyone knew the truth. Humans were not pushing them back. Humans were teaching them a lesson. But something strange happened. As the alien fleet pulled away from human space, a small section of the Titan class opened. A faint blue light shined from inside. The alien crew gasped. What is that? A weapon? A reactor? A signal? No one knew, until one of the science officers spoke in a frightened voice. It is a hangar. Everyone stared at him. A hangar? For what? The officer zoomed in the camera. Inside the glowing hangar were dozens, maybe hundreds, of small human ships. But these ships did not look normal. They were sharp, powerful, and shaped like predators. And then the officer whispered the part that chilled the whole room. Those are Titan-class strike fighters. Even Virex stepped back in shock. Zor gripped the table so hard his claws almost broke. They have an entire strike force, hidden inside a single warship? No one answered, because the truth was even worse. The Titan class wasn't just one ship. It was an entire fleet carrier, a moving base designed for war. Suddenly, one of the fighters inside the hangar activated. A bright white light ignited behind it. Then the first fighter launched. Silently, smoothly. The alien crew shouted in panic. It launched a fighter. They are attacking! No, not yet. It's not coming toward us. The fighter took position under the Titan class and simply waited. Then another launched, and another, and another. Within minutes, 30 human strike fighters were floating around the Titan class like armored birds protecting their nest. The alien fleet nearly collapsed from fear. Jor turned to Virex with wide eyes. "This is not simple border defense," he whispered. "This is a demonstration of power." Virex nodded slowly. "They want us to know exactly what they can do." The humans finally spoke again. "This is Admiral Cole." Every alien officer froze. "Your fleet is approaching the safe boundary. You will stop in 90 seconds. They obeyed immediately. No one dared to test the humans' patience. The human voice continued. "We will now perform a security scan." Jor blinked. "Security scan of what?" Before he could finish, something unbelievable happened. A wide blue beam of light burst from the Titan class, stretching across space like a giant spotlight. It swept across the alien ships. Every system flickered. Every shield shook. Every engine stuttered for 1 second. The aliens panicked. "Our systems are interrupted." "Shields dropping." "What is this technology?" "They are scanning our entire fleet." Zor stared in terror. "That beam, it sees everything." It wasn't an attack. It was worse. It was a way for humans to learn every weakness of their fleet. When the scan finished, Admiral Cole spoke with cold confidence. "Your fleet carries long-range probes, military-grade radar, and deep space mapping tools. All of these are forbidden inside the Terran border." The alien officers felt the blood drain from their faces. They didn't think humans would detect that, but the Titan class saw everything. Admiral Cole continued. "We know you came to study us. We know you wanted to measure our strength." Jor's voice trembled. "Admiral, we did not intend harm." "No," Cole replied. "But you ignored our warnings." Silence filled the alien ship, nervous breathing, shaking hands, hearts beating too fast. Then the humans gave one last message. "This is your final warning. If your Dominion sends another fleet toward our borders, the Titan class will not escort you away." A cold chill spread through every alien officer. Everyone understood what the humans meant. If the aliens came back, they would not be allowed to leave. The channel closed. The Titan-class fighters returned to their hangar. The warship slowly turned away, and the alien fleet, shaking with fear, was left alone in the empty dark. Jor whispered the words none of them wanted to accept. "We have seen only a small part of their power." Virex swallowed hard. "And it was enough to destroy us completely." Jor nodded. "But what are they hiding? What else do humans have?" Nobody could answer, because deep inside the Titan-class warship, one last chamber stayed dark, something powerful, something secret, something the humans had not shown. Not yet. The Titan-class warship turned away from the alien fleet, but something felt wrong. To Ambassador Zor, the silence was now heavier than battle sounds. The humans had shown only a small bit of their power, yet the message was clear. Humans were not afraid. Humans were not impressed. Humans were warning them. The alien fleet continued to drift backward, putting more distance between themselves and Terran space. Crew members whispered in fear. "Is the Titan class leaving? Are we safe? Maybe they don't see us as a danger anymore." But Zor did not relax. "No," he said, watching the giant warship fade into darkness. "They showed us only what they wanted us to see." Virex nodded slowly. "They are hiding something, and deep inside the Titan class." He was right. Something else was waking up. Far away inside the massive human warship, a dark chamber flickered with dim red lights. This part of the ship was not on any map. Not even most human officers knew it existed. A thick metal door unlocked with a deep rumble. Inside the room sat a large, strange cylinder, black, armored, and silent. It hummed slowly like a giant heartbeat. A human officer approached the device cautiously. His badge read, Lieutenant Reyes, Deep Response Division. He placed his hand on a glowing panel. The cylinder responded. Red lights changed to blue. Internal energy coils activated. A soft mechanical voice spoke from the chamber. Restricted system online. Titan protocol awakening. Reyes swallowed nervously. He was not a man who feared much, but activating the system was something only admirals could command, and Admiral Cole had ordered only one thing. Prepare the response unit. In case the aliens return, Reyes whispered under his breath. Let's hope we never need it. Back in the alien flagship, fear began turning into confusion. The science officer frowned at his screens. Ambassador, something is strange. What now? Zor asked tiredly. The Titan class, it has stopped moving. Zor felt a cold shiver go through his spine. Stopped? Why? I don't know, the officer replied. But its energy output is climbing. Very fast. Firex rushed to the console. Are they charging weapons? The officer shook his head. No, this is not a normal weapon signature. What is it then? The officer answered with a voice full of fear. A new system. One we have never seen. The power level is enormous. Zor felt his throat dry. They warned us to leave, he whispered. And this is what happens when they give the final warning. Inside the Titan-class warship, alarms flashed quietly. Titan Protocol Level 1 activated response unit chamber. Online massive steel locks disengaged. Mechanical clamps pulled away from the black cylinder. The device rose slightly, supported by magnetic fields. Blue energy flowed through the chamber walls. Then the cylinder split open. Zor, watching from far away through scanners, gasped as he saw the energy spike. What is that light? Some kind of reactor? No, another whispered. This is alive. But they were wrong. It wasn't alive. It was worse. Inside the cylinder was a suit. A massive armored suit. A human combat exoskeleton. Far larger and far more advanced than anything the aliens' military had ever imagined. A deep voice echoed from the Titan-class internal comm system. Unit 01, Titan armored operative ready for deployment. Back in the alien ship, panic spread. This is not a starfighter. It is not a drone. It is a giant soldier. The science officer whispered one word. A Titan operative. None of them knew what that meant. But the name alone felt dangerous. Zor pressed his hands to the console. Eyes locked on the Titan class. What are humans preparing for? He whispered. Virex replied softly. They think we might return. Zor froze. He understood now. Humans did not trust the Dominion. The Titan class was not only a warning, it was a promise. A promise that humans would be ready for war, even if the aliens came with their full power next time. Inside the Titan class, the giant armored suit stepped forward. It looked like a walking tank covered in heavy plating and glowing marks. A voice came through. Operative online. Give orders. Admiral Cole responded quietly. We are not fighting today. This is only preparation. The armored Titan turned toward its drop chamber. It will be enough, it said. The alien sensors went dark suddenly. Every screen turned black. What happened? We're being jammed! No, our systems are being overridden. Then a message appeared on every alien screen. Simple. Cold. Human. Do not return. Zor stared at the message, unable to speak. Virex whispered, If this is what humans show us on the first meeting, what else are they capable of? Zor replied, We must warn the Dominion. If we come back unprepared, it will be the end of us. Far behind them, the Titan-class warship slowly dimmed its lights, but the hidden chamber stayed active. The humans were ready, more ready than any alien species had ever seen. The alien fleet moved farther and farther away from Terran space. Even when the Titan class was no longer visible, the fear stayed with them. Inside the alien flagship, everyone was silent. No one joked. No one argued. They had all seen something they were never supposed to see, something humanity wanted them to remember forever. Ambassador Zor sat alone in the command chair, staring at the dark space ahead. We survived, Commander Virex said softly. Zor did not answer. Survival did not feel like victory. It felt like being allowed to live. After a long moment, Zor spoke. Prepare a full report. The Dominion must know what we saw. Virex nodded. Yes, Ambassador. But even as Virex walked away, Zor whispered under his breath, and they must know what will happen. If we return. Hours passed. The alien fleet entered neutral space, finally free from Terran borders. The crew relaxed a little, but their hands still shook. The science officer approached Zor. Ambassador, there is something strange, Zor sighed. Another problem? No, a message, Zor stiffened. From who? The officer hesitated. From the humans. The whole bridge froze. What does it say? Zor asked. The officer swallowed hard. It says, We are watching you. The room went completely silent. Then the officer continued. And there is a file attached. Zor frowned. Open it. The file appeared on the main screen. It was not a threat, not a weapon blueprint, not a sensor reading. It was a single image, humanity's Titan-class warship. But the image was taken from behind the alien fleet, as if the humans had been following them the whole time. Zor felt a cold fear deep in his chest. They tracked us even after we left their space. Virex whispered, Ambassador, this means they can see us anywhere. In that moment, the truth became clear. Humans did not fear the Dominion. Humans did not need to show their full power. The Titan-class warship was only one piece of a much larger force, and the message, "We are watching you," was not a threat, it was a promise. Promise that humans could find them at any time. Zor walked to the center of the bridge. We cannot let the Dominion attack them, he said. It will destroy us. Virex nodded. Yes, but they will not believe us. They will think we exaggerate. Zor clenched his fists. Then we must convince them. Even if they call us cowards, even if they punish us, he turned to the crew. Because if they do not listen, billions of our people will die. The crew understood. Humans were not monsters. But they were extremely dangerous when threatened, and the Dominion had pushed too far. The alien fleet set course for home. But something else was happening far behind them. Inside the Titan-class warship, deep in the hidden chamber, the giant armored Titan operative stood silent. Waiting, watching. A human officer approached Admiral Cole. Sir, should we pursue them? Cole shook his head. No, they are afraid. Fear is enough. What if they return with a larger fleet? Cole turned slowly toward the window. His eyes were calm. Cold, certain. Then we show them what the Titan class can really do. The officer hesitated. And if that still isn't enough? Admiral Cole smiled, a quiet, dangerous smile. Then we wake the other Titans. The officer's heart skipped a beat. There are more. Cole nodded. Many more. He looked out at the stars. Humanity will not start the war. But if they force us, we will end it. Far ahead, the alien ships jumped into hyperspace, racing home with terror still in their bones. Ambassador Zor knew one thing for certain. The Dominion had just met a new power in the galaxy. A power silent but unstoppable. Calm but deadly. Peaceful but undefeated. A power called humanity. And the Titan,